It's lovely to see you all in church. A little bit quieter than we're used to these days, but that's okay. As Peter would say, lots of angels out there with us in all those empty seats. But thank you for coming out tonight. We have a lovely evening lined up. So we welcome Alan Alveston in church. Welcome, Alan. Thank you for joining us. And also Claire Pasterfield as joining us online as well. Welcome, Claire. Waiting in the wings to come on in a little bit. So just to start our service tonight then, we will, as always, open in prayer. So I'll hand over to Alan to do that for us. And then once he's opened in prayer, we will all join together to say the Lord's Prayer. That is in the front of your hymn books if you need it. Over to you. Thank you, Alan.
Divine Spirit, we welcome in the love, the light and the healing, the wonderful vibration of the Great Spirit. In this time that we share together, we ask that we share it together in light and love. We ask that we know that our loved ones, our family members and friends, all those that dwell in the light and the world of light we call Spirit, draw closely with us this evening, bringing forth all their help, for guidance and strength. We ask that we join by the wise ones, the bringers of light and truth, those that help us to make sense of this earthly journey that we call life. All the great gifts, we ask the gift of peace. And we ask that that peace goes into each heart and mind, into this lovely service, but it's also out into the world. There is such a great need. We know that Spirit come with joy. They come with laughter and love. And we ask that we gain something from the time that we share together. I ask that I be a positive and uplifting instrument for God's work in the time we're sharing. And we all gain something. We feel that wonderful light and warmth that is so needed on this journey at the moment. We ask that the guidance and strength be with us. And we receive the healing that we need, as well as it go out into the world, where we send our prayers and our thoughts. We think of a natural world, so beautiful, and as a wise teacher once said, it's not by accident the colours of healing, the blues and the greens, are also the colours of nature. I've needed healing myself the last few months, and I've drawn on nature, walking by the river, walking by the beautiful plants and trees, feeling that wonderful serenity, that wonderful strength. And we ask that we know that the great architect of light and love that created this world in such beauty and joy also created each and every one of us in a unique and special way. And we give thanks in this time for all that is precious and dear to us. And we ask as we join together, we dedicate this service to light and love. Amen.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Thank you, Alan. Right, okay, so I will light the church candle now, and as Alan said in his lovely prayer there, our loved ones in spirit come in love and in joy. So let's invite that love and that peace and that joy from connecting with our loved ones in spirit to come into our own energies now, and that they may join us this evening. And as we light the candle, we'll say a few words. Lord, this candle that I have lit, may it be light from you to lighten my way through difficulties in life. May it be fire from you to burn my selfishness, my pride, and all that's impure within. May it be a flame from you to warm my heart. Teach me love through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Okay, so we will now go into that beautiful, serene, peaceful, healing energy together. So everybody in church and also everyone watching online as well, I just ask that you take a moment, maybe take a few deep breaths, open up your heart centres and just focus on those that you love that may be in need tonight, maybe people that you know that are in need, that you don't necessarily know, but you know of them, think of those as well. And if you've got no one in mind to think about, just focus on love and sending that love out to the world, because that's all part of healing, sending that love and that light out. And we can all do that just through the power of full and loving intention. So we're going to go into the healing part of the service now. And I will read the names from our church healing book, and of course any names that are written into the comment box there for those watching online I will add on at the end. And then we'll join together in prayer, and then we'll sit and we'll send some silent thoughts out. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing to be able to do. So I thank each and every one of you for being a part of this moment, that special healing part of our service. So get my list. So tonight we come together in church and online, and we place all those that we name now in God's care. We ask for healing to go out for Michael, Marie, Heather, Darren, Claire, Derrin, Lorraine, Greta, David, Katie, Justin, Jenny, David, Sonic the Bird, Michelle, Mike, Martin, Joyce, June, Carol, Bill, Pamela, Veronica, Heather, Joan, Peggy, Kim, Vicky, Rob, Brendan, Cameron, Madison, Ella, Ben, Reese, Megan, Daisy, Andy and Gordon, Brendan, Ollie and Sam. Paul and Katie, Yvonne, Tim, Francesca, Curtis and Caroline, Wendy and Paul Muley, Brenda Foster, the Borum family, John Beaumont, Elaine Grout, and anyone else that needs it. So please join with me now in our healing prayer as we join together. We say, Dear Heavenly Father, we come together in church and online this evening. We ask that we be used for channels for that loving, healing energy. We sit with our hearts open and we focus our whole being on love, on positivity, and of healing. And we ask tonight, loving Father, that you join with us to help all of those that we've named tonight and those that we think of in our minds now. We ask that you surround them by your love, your light. We ask that they may receive this healing energy, that they feel comforted and eased by it. We ask also for all those around the world who are suffering at this time, those that we haven't named. We know there are many out there. We ask that they too receive the power of your healing. And of course, we ask as always for our animal kingdom, for the world of nature and Mother Earth. And we pray so hard for all suffering to end, for people and countries to unite in love and in peace. And as always, we ask that you join and bless each and every person joining in prayer together tonight to send this healing out. We ask they too receive the power of your love. We ask all of this in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. We also think of Joan and Ken. Thank you, everybody. So just spend a minute just sending that love out. This will be broken by the hymn Gracious Spirit. It's in the front of your hymn books. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. That really is so important. Even if we don't join services like this, we must always remember how powerful that intention and that loving thought is. And you can just sit driving along, sending that love and positivity out. So important right now. So thank you all for joining us in doing that. I can certainly feel the energy. It's absolutely beautiful. I will now hand over to our lovely Peter for this evening's Bible reading. Are you ready for us? Where is he? I can see he's sat right there. Don't you worry, guys. No, I don't need it today. Listen.
All right. Hello. Evening all. Lovely to see you all here again, and welcome to those all online. We get some funny weather. They've had some awful weather up there at the Midlands and Scotland, which we've escaped, which is good, or good for us. In tonight's reading, Jesus does not judge us, but expects us to judge ourselves. In the spiritual aspect, we cannot judge or condemn others, as we do not know all the facts. For tonight's reading, I've chosen the Gospel of St. John. We see throughout the reading two distinct lines of thought. We see Jesus speaking always from the spiritual aspect, when the Jews are taking the earthly point of view. The Testament of St. John is about the life of Jesus the Christ on earth, and the people were often trying to trap him into something they could accuse him of, to discredit him and to bring action against him. Of course, they always did, and always they will fail. Like all the scriptures, there are important messages that bring understanding. Like I've expressed on other readings, it always comes back to understanding the way of life, the God's way. This again demonstrates Christ's gentle, compassionate spirit. We see the loving and true Son of God. Teachers of the law and the Pharisees brought a woman caught in adultery before him and claimed maximum judgment under the law of Moses. Today, we call it the law of the people, meant to control a standard of living with penalties for breaking these codes of law. But God's law is a greater law, covering all others in the power of love. As the story unrolls, Jesus will not judge the woman or give the accusers credence for their claims. We are told many times in the scriptures that we should not judge, as we may not know all the circumstances. Speaking spiritually now, Jesus neither condemned the condemners nor the condemned, but set in motion certain spiritual forces which awakened conscience in both accusers and the accused. How many of us could do that? God has planted in the soul, with which, when stimulated through our consciousness, reveals the soul's errors to itself. How many of us have experienced this within ourselves? In the spiritual world, it is the outworking of the law of karma. The soul is its own accuser, and we just know when it is us ourselves that we're wrong. Jesus knows that the woman had sinned and knows true remorse can be so deep and so poignant that the soul needs no further judgment, only the healing balm of love. And Jesus was teaching by his own actions. Tonight's reading comes from John chapter 8. But Jesus went to the Mount of Olives. At dawn, he appeared again in the temple courts where all the people gathered. They gathered around him and he sat down to teach them. The teachers of the law and the Pharisees brought in a woman caught in adultery. They made her stand before the group and said to Jesus, "Teacher, this woman was caught in the act of adultery. In the law of Moses, he condemned us to stone such women. Now what do you say?" They were using this question as a trap in order to have a basis for accusing him. But Jesus bent down and started to write on the ground with his finger. When they kept questioning him, he straightened up and said to them, "Let any one of you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone at her." Again, he stooped down and wrote on the ground. At this, those who heard began to go away, one at a time, the older ones first, until only Jesus was left. With the woman still standing there, Jesus straightened up and asked her, "Woman, where are they? Has no one condemned you?" "No, sir," she said. "Then neither do I condemn you," Jesus declared. "Go now and leave your life of sin." God bless that reading and thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Peter. It's lovely. Okay, so we will now say goodbye to everybody watching online. You've got Christine, Amanda, Lisa, Dee, Jacqueline. Thank you all for joining us. But from us at Thundersley, we say goodbye and God bless you all. And we hand you over to Claire Pasterfield and Rob. So good night from everyone in church. Have a lovely evening. Mwah.
Hello and good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for coming on. If you're new, by all means, share out so we know who you are. So we will do an address. Now, many of you that have watched me know that I'm not the most eloquent at words, just honest to myself. So I went out and said to Spirit, right, what do you want to talk about this time? What would you like me to explain? And they first of all gave me the song Vera Lynn, We'll Meet Again, which if I start saying the lyrics, it always ends up making me cry. But also they said to me, go and find you your poem, for that will give you inspiration and help and give guidance. So the poem we've got is called In Our Hearts. And it will lead us onto this little bit of a topic regarding grief. But this poem just showed me so much how sometimes we manage grief in different ways and how we know that it's still with us. So it's in our hearts. We thought of you today, but that was nothing new. We thought about you yesterday and the days before that too. We think of you in silence. We often speak your name. Now all we have is memories and your picture in a frame. Your memory is our keepsake, and which we will never part. God has you in his keeping. We have you in our heart. And it's an unknown author. But as the poem was coming through, it talks about how we hold our grief in many ways, how coming on to a divine service or a spiritualist church or an online service with me, it's all about us being able to have that connection, that reconnection, even if it's just a little bit of time with our past loved ones to help ease that grief. And so many of us will deal with grief differently. Some of us will deal with it outwardly and openly, or other people will keep us busy, will be busy, and other people will just take time to just contemplate, or they'll just think about everybody and talk to everybody. And there is no correct way to deal with grief. The thing that is right, in regardless of how you deal with grief, is knowing that our past loved ones, their faults, their memories, their love is with us in our heart. But for us, we also have that wonderful knowledge of knowing that spirit is around us and they walk with us and they show their ways to us. So for this evening, taken away from the poem, if you are dealing with grief very freshly at the moment and you're wondering on how you should deal with it, the thing is, there is no right way and there is no wrong way. It is just a case of sort of taking it day by day and know that your loved ones are with you in your heart the whole entire time. And although they may not be here, as you can see them, they haven't left you. And I hope that gives you some comfort. Like I said, that has an unknown author, but if you do a bit of Googling, as I call it, and have a look at and type in our hearts, you will be able to find that poem. So I do hope you enjoy that poem, and thanks so much. So if you are new to Divine Service or new to this page or new to me, first of all, hello everybody. How we just simply work is I work directly with your past loved ones. I'm very free, relaxed in my mediumship, just purely allow your loved ones to come through in however mannerism they want. I also believe by being relaxed in that style and allowing your past loved ones to communicate with me the way they want, it also reflects them. If we've got somebody that was quite quiet and they communicate quite quiet, we know who we're chatting to. Also, because we are on a divine service or on an online service, shall I say, you are welcome to put down who you would like to speak to, because you need to just remember your past loved ones. The connection with you is still there, that link to your loved ones there. So if you would like to talk to somebody in particular, you are welcome to. I will go through, Spirit basically shouts at me and says, right, I want to talk to such and such, and I will come through. All I simply ask is for yourselves to just communicate back. Yes, no, Claire, I haven't got a clue what you're talking about. You still got to take it away with you. But if you can just sort of kind of feedback to me, and I will say, if I haven't got a clue what I'm talking about, I will put my hands up and say, I'm not too sure. And one very final thing before we move on is, if you are listening to the messages and you're just resonating with dates, times, months, the topics, the individual, and you can resonate with it, it feels right in our hearts, then please take that message away with you, because spirits, your loved ones, are very, very savvy. They know that I can't get through to everybody else. So what they will try to do is they will try to work collaboratively. That's a big word. I know I've got somebody coming through using that word with me. They will work collaboratively. They will work together to make sure we can reach as many people as possible. Right. Okay. So I'd like to, first of all, as a cinema direct medium, so I work directly. It's just how I work naturally. But I'd like to come to Jacqueline and Forrester. So I'd love to speak to hubby Steve. Missed him so much on Friday at Daughter's Special Day. Okay, Jacqueline Forrester, I'd love to come and work with you if that's okay. Now, your husband, as he comes through, he chuckled at me when I said collaboratively. So I'm not saying that he would be an individual that would use business speak or management talk, but he's instantly laughing at me. So I want to recognize a laughter as he's coming through. You're very welcome, Jackie. A laughter. He is taking the mickey out of me. So either that means he was somebody that would work like working collaboratively, stakeholders, them type of words, or he took the mickey out of somebody who would use management speak, because he's just laughing at me about this. This is just funny. It's just funny. The minute I said collaborative, he was laughing at me, but he's chuckling away. And I want to laugh with this gentleman. He is laughing. Yeah, Mickey Taker, that's Steve. Excellent. Because he is laughing at me, because he's like, you're right. Like, collaboratively and stakeholders. So there is a real laugh, and he is laughing as he's coming through. And he gives me a big, big, big smile. Okay, thank you. He says to me, I'm as proud as Punch, is what he's just said. I'm proud. Now, I know you said about your daughter's big day, but he said, I'm as proud as Punch. Okay. He also jokes about the fact that he doesn't have to worry about a suit fitting him. So either there would have been a conversation about him needing to be dressed up smart, or he wasn't somebody that would be smart. I'm being told I'm smart, but I feel as he gives me as being a big character, because it's like all of a sudden I just see I see like a waistcoat or like a dinner jacket, but it's like, at least I don't have to worry about wearing it because it fits. So he gives me he's laughing as he's doing it, because he's like, well, at least I don't have to worry about that. But he does give me a big laugh for you and your daughter, and he's laughing because he's like, I didn't have to worry about that part of it. Okay. Somebody has a shoe malfunction, Jacqueline. It may not be you. It may be somebody else, because he is laughing about a shoe malfunction. So I don't know. And it may well be that it may not be directly to you. It may well be a guest, but he is laughing about a shoe malfunction. And it's just little bits to show you that he is around you. Okay. And he also talks to me about, I keep seeing, I don't think it's the right time, sir. I'm not a garden person. I keep seeing little white flowers, like white bluebells or white crocuses. So I don't know whether there was a white flower that was connected to your daughter's special day, but he is talking to me. Yes, the shoe. Well, he was laughing. Excellent, because it was just, thank you very much. Okay, thank you, so I've got to give you these little white, like they're like crocuses or white like white bluebells, but you can have them with snowdrops. Snowdrops, thank you, sir. He just went snowdrops. Okay, then. But I'm asking him to give me things to show you that he was there. So he wants to recognize these. Okay, somebody wanted loads of yellow, or somebody wanted it because all of, okay, thank you very much. He's given me daffodils, but I asked him, did he mean David, or like St. David's Day for you, Jacqueline? So he's given me David. So I don't know if you can take the name David. He loves spring. There was the daffodils. Brilliant. But I will give you the name David. He also tells me, I know we're in March, aren't we? I know March would now be important, because he's laughing. He's going, you can say March is a birthday party on an anniversary. So he's laughing at me, because he's like laughing at me, telling me you can add March into your list. Apparently I can add March into my repertoire, so he tells me. Right, okay, so I also want to give me some other details then. I want to recognise that September, David is my sister D. Okie dokie, there's David. Thank you very much. We got that. I also want to recognise September's important. Birthday party on an anniversary. So I need to recognise September's important. I also want to go to August as a birthday party on an anniversary, because he's telling me that August is important. Why can't they stick to a diary from January to December? I don't know, but they like to do that to me. So he's telling me that August is important, September's important as well. Okay. He also talks to me about November's important as well, birthday, party, and anniversary. But he does make about the March. We can use March now. Okay. Right. Okie dokie. Thank you, Jacqueline. Brilliant. Thank you. He also gives me the name Eddie, Edward. I haven't had an Eddie or an Edward name for such a long time. It felt a bit unusual as I say it. I need to recognize the name Eddie, Edward. It could well be somebody in spirit, but I'm passing over the name Edward or Eddie. Okay. And I want to give you the name Fred or Frank. I can hear the I can hear the FR, so it sounds like Fred or Frank. But if it would be Fred, it would have been an Alfred, because I can hear the fr name. So he's just passing these names over to you. Okay, right. Right. Okay. Thank you very much. He also talks to me about the fact that he walked beside your daughter. I don't know if you can take your daughter's special day being her wedding, because all I keep seeing with him, okie dokie, but I've always been given Frank. Okie dokie, no problem. You keep gonna keep getting Frank. Okay. He keeps talking to me about he was the other side of you. So I don't know whether there was whether your teeth in it. Daughter's special day is was her wedding day or something like that. Because all I keep seeing in those all the keep places is her in the middle, you one side, him the other side. And I don't know whether it's a case of walking down the aisle or whether it was a case of having a dance. Okay, thank you very much. Because he's telling me about that, about being around you two. So I need to pass. Okay. Right. Okay. Thank you very much. Right. Okay. Edward is Katerina's new name. Okie dokie. Thank you very much. Right. Okay. Right, come through. I need to give you the name James as well for you, Jacqueline, and I want to give Thomas. So I've got James and Thomas. We've got some proper traditional old names there, but I want to put James and Thomas is what he passes over to you. Right, okay. Can you stop moving or settling down on something in the house? The way he keeps laughing, he said, tell her she needs to just, can she settle down and decide? Brilliant. Jacqueline, that's quite funny. Like your hubby knew Edward before you did, my lovely, and he's laughing. He's like, see, but he is joking about, can you settle down? You keep moving something or you won't settle down. Now what he gives me, because remember I give you everything, I keep seeing a sofa being moved around, so I don't know whether you keep moving furniture around or you are unsure, but he's like, can you tell her just to make a decision of where she's going to put it and stick with it? Okay, then what else there for you? Okay. I've asked if there's anything else apart from being told off about moving your sofa. And he was like, I've come in just to let her know that I was there. He went, I was there. I didn't go. I was there is what he wants to say. Okay. And somebody said, okay, the throw keeps sliding off the leather sofa and we moved him. Can you make his point of staying where? Okie dokie, thank you. He's talking about the fact that he is glad he didn't have to make any dad jokes, because he's laughing about dad jokes because he said, I would have done. Okay, how do you want to put it? He would have done a joke that would have been ultimately like the ultimate embarrassment is what he's talking, because he's glad. He said, I wasn't there in that sense. He says to me, because I didn't have to do the dad jokes. So I want to recognize about there being a joke that he used to say regularly, because it's and either somebody said it in reminiscing of him or whether they thought about it because he's like, I'm glad I wasn't there to have to repeat that same dad joke. So there is a dad joke he wants to pass over to you as well. Okay. And with that, Jacqueline, I'm just going to close his connection down. It was very much just making you and your lovely daughter know that he hadn't gone and he was there and he's with you all the time. Or as we've talked about, all our past loved ones are with us. yes, you got told off about the sofa, but I hope it just gives you love and comfort and upliftment to know that he was there, and he jokes about the surname, and he jokes about the fact that he knew about the shoe malfunction. And with that, I will close the connection and say thank you so much for allowing me to connect with you, and I hope you enjoyed your message. So thank you so much, Jacqueline. Okay, right, so if you would like to, if you just jumped on, he said my girls were his daughters, even though, oh bless, there was so much love for her, for your daughters, Jacqueline. Honestly, he was proud as punch, as he put it. So if you would like, if you just jumped on, hello, I'm Claire. I've got a banner at my name, so that always makes it a bit easier. If you would like to make a connection with somebody in particular, you are welcome to put down who you'd like to talk to, or if you're just happy for your message to be come through from whoever, we will see. I do work directly, but remember, I always say, if you're listening to a message and you're thinking, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense to me, please let me know, because your loved ones are very, very savvy, as I always say. They know how to bring two people through one message. So I shall say thank you very much. Right, where am I going? Okay, you want me to go there, do you? Okay. Holly Jane, I'd love to come and work with you if this is okay, please. Holly, so I always ask, is it okay for me to work with you? I know the answer is yes, because obviously you comment, but I'd like to connect with Holly Jane. Hello, Holly. Right, your mum comes through, but as the first thing she wants to do is she wants to just place loads of rose quartz around you, my lovely. So even that means you've got a thing about rose quartz. You love rose quartz. However, if you haven't got any rose quartz, that's fine, because rose quartz also, for me, when I get rose quartz, it means about self-care and taking time for herself. If I ever get things like aventurine, then I'm working with healing. So this is all she's coming through with rose quartz. So I don't know if there's any real direct connection to rose quartz to you, or we are just looking at you about having some self-care. Right, okay. Mum says to me that wants you to know that she's no longer tired. She gives me a real feeling that she became very, very tired, is what she's telling me. She became very, very lethargic, she wants to use the word, and she worries about you at the moment feeling tired yourself. So she's just talking to me about you being tired as well. Okay. Thank you very much, my lovely. Okay. She also keeps talking to me about a pair of earrings. Either you've got her earrings, or whether you've got a pair of earrings that you've got in memory of her, because she says to me she knows about them, the earrings. So I don't know, again, whether you had asked, Mum had asked for you to have these earrings and she wants you to know, but she's telling me about your earrings. She knows about the earrings for you. Okay, come and give me some months. February was month. Oh, bless you. Oh, don't cry, my lovely. We're all sending you big hugs, my lovely, especially her. This is that rose quartz, because it's like a big hug for you. Okay, come through, my lovely. Right, I know February was a birthday party and an anniversary to me, because February wasn't a great month, but she recognises February wasn't a great month. So I know I want to miss somebody in February, is what she's talking to me. Okay, thank you very much. Yes, I lost my mum in February. Okie dokie, thank you. Right, okay, this is right, my lovely. We are going to make sure you get a lovely everybody gets a lovely message, but know that all the lovely community here is giving you big hugs as well, because she said to me February was not a good month. Okay, thank you very much. Right, she gives me the now I get dates. Dates don't always correspond exactly. Sometimes the dates months, but she talks to me about the 14th. So that obviously would be Valentine's Day, but then she gives me the 17th. So I've got the 14th and the 17th. They may not be related to last month in the February, but they may be related to a birthday, party, or anniversary elsewhere. They throw months in for me, but I know the 14th and 17th are important. Okay, thank you very much. Come through. Right. She said to me, thank you. She said, you did everything. Mum, yes, my birthday's 17th. Like, you're really important, my lovely. Because she says, thank you very much. She says to me, you did everything that was on my list. So I don't know whether the 14th would have been a conversation. It may be something just take away to have a conversation, because she said to me she did everything on my list, and I don't know whether it was you or somebody near in around the Valentine's. All of a sudden I've got this cupcake in front of me, and I can see like a red piping rose. Now, like I said, they sometimes give me imagery for me to see, but I still give it to you because that can have meaning. But all of a sudden I've got like this cupcake and I've got red roses on it. So I don't know whether okay, me and my dad, okay, thank you, my lovely. I don't know whether the colour red roses would be important to you, or whether there was a cupcake with something special for Valentine's Days with red roses. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Mum, I'll tell her. She went, oh, Holly, she went, I'm glad there isn't that smell in hospital anymore. So I don't know whether Mum had a thing. I love Fred. Okay, thank you, my lovely. I don't know whether Mum had a thing about smells. You know, some of us can be really, really sensitive. I was trying to find the nice way to put it with smells. She was just like, cool, Holly, I don't have to worry about that smell anymore up in spirit world. So, and she's laughing. So I don't know whether it's you that's the one that's got a bit sensitive to smell, or whether Mum did, because she is laughing. It's like, up here, it smells like roses, is what she's just said. Okay, thank you, my love. She's giving me a lovely, beautiful smile for you. Okay. I also want to give you chrysanthemums. Now, like I said, I'm not the biggest flower thing, but I've got to give you chrysanthemums, as I call them. So I want to give you chrysanthemums. And also, Mum and I hate hospitals. Okay, that's why she's glad they're not up. That smell's not up there. Okay, but I also want to give you the name, as much as I can hear and see chrysanthemums, I want to use the name Chris. So Chris or Christine would be important to you, Holly. Like I say, names are either here or there. I'm going to start. So I've got to do some more meditation on that one. Okay, thank you very much. Right, come through. Okay. Somebody like Sting as well for you, Holly, because I want to give you every breath you take, every move you make. I'll be watching over you. I'll be watching over you. I can't sing. I can't. I'll next thing I go. Okie dokie. Yes, my mum. My mum. Oh, brilliant. Thank you very much, Holly. But she is also talking to me about Sting, because it's, oh, can't you see? Oh, brilliant. Thank you. You belong to me. She really wants me to belt this song out for you. So there is definitely, like, the minute you get to the chorus, it's like, every breath you take. So she's laughing because she's like, she really wants to sing. Thank you very much. She said, she wants you to start singing. She said to me, even if, Holly, it is just hum a tune, she wants you to sing. She said, because I want her to sing and be uplifted, is what she says. Okay, we used to sing. She wants you to do that again, my lovely. She said, even if it's just a hum for the moment, she said, I just want you to sing. She said, even if it's just a little hum for the moment. She said, because I'll be singing with you right beside you, like always, Holly. And this is what she wants you to know, that she hasn't stepped away from you. She's with you this whole entire time. She hasn't stepped. She said, I'm never going to step away from her. Okay, funny. Okay, my lovely. Because she's wanting you to keep on singing and know that she will be singing there. And you've got to crank up them songs, apparently. And another one I've got is, I'm being given ABBA, and I've got gimme a man after midnight. Now, like I say, I give you exactly the songs because the songs can be relevant. If you're not an ABBA fan, that's cool. Not everybody is. Hold the song, because it will be, that song will play in the next couple of weeks and you can go, Mum, Mum, Mum. Okay. And Mum has also said, look out for 1111. So look, I always say, don't look for them, but you'll just notice either double numbers or 1111. The Spirit love to throw me 111, 111. So 1111, normally on a digital clock. She will be with you, and she will come through to you with different messages. Synchronicity. She wants you to sing, because I'm still going to be beside you, singing her heart out with you, Holly. Okay. And she also talks to me about, there is little ones with you. Either you've got little ones, or you had a conversation about little ones and her not being there, because she's turned around and said, I'm going to watch every single person in this life here grow up. She said to me, and I will be there all the time. Anything else, my lovely? Your mum was really, really forceful. For your mum was such a lovely, strong lady, your mum is. I always get told off when I say was, because then they slap me and they go, we still are. Because for a lady that recently passed, she come through whooshing for you, my lovely. But Holly, I hope it gives you some comfort, my lovely. I hope it gives you, and yes, my brother has her grandson, okie dokie. She's going to just keep on watching them, my dear, for you. But I hope, Holly, it gives you some comfort, as we talked about grief earlier, that they're never very far away, and it's okay to grieve the way that is right for you. And I hope your mum's message and that sing songs will help you through life. And I'll just say thank you so much for allowing me to connect with you, Holly. And I hope it gave you some comfort. And we are all sending you big hugs in this hard time. But thank you so much. I shall say thank you. Right, okay. Right, let's go through to the next person. You're very welcome, Holly. Right, okay. Your mum was a force to be reckoned with. She came in and she's gone. I'm like, right, it is in this room. It's a bit like roll up, next person walk in the door. Right, okay, I've got a gentleman who's stepping in. He gives me a feeling of being dad. Maxine Evans. Maxine, can I come and work with you if that's okay, please? I'd like to come and work with you, Maxine. However, what I also want to say is Ross Summers, could you, you're all listening anyway, but I'm being pulled between Maxine and Ross, and I'm not saying that you're family, but what I will do is, please don't have a double link. What I will do is I work with Maxine, but Ross Summers, I'd love to come and work with you afterwards, please. So if you two can kind of listen to each other. If you've not seen before, I do end up getting double links. Spirit likes to throw a double link in every so often. So what that normally means is, as we talked about, your past loved ones will both come through, have very similar characteristics, or you two have very similar characteristics, and I'll focus on one person and then I'll move to the other person. But what I normally say, if I've got a double link, both individuals, if you can kind of listen. Right, Maxine, I want to come to you, please, first, and then, like I said, I'll jump over to Ross afterwards, but listen vice versa. Right, Maxine, Dad's telling me to take a deep breath for you. He's like, it's coming, and he's like, she needs to take a deep breath. And all of a sudden, he's making me put my hand over my right eye. So either yourself has been suffering with headaches, or somebody else around you has just been kind of like, oh my days, kind of thing. Because he's just instantly telling me the first thing you need to do, Maxine, is take a breath. And it's like, crikey, lots are going on at the moment, he said. Right, okay, and I can't do it, but Maxine, I want to cock my eyebrow up. I can't really know. I'm not going to try and look like a bit of an oddball. I want to cock my right eyebrow up as well. I wish I could do it. It'd be really cool. So I don't know whether either you're the lovely person that can cock their eyebrow up, or whether Dad was able to cock his eyebrow up. It wouldn't surprise me if Ross comes back and says, yes, I know my dad, or he can cock his eyebrow up, because all of a sudden that eyebrow wants to go up and I want to cock it up. Little bits to allow them to work with me, but I pass it out there because I needed to recognise it. Right, okay, come through, sir. Throwing things in like that as well. Right, I need to give you the name George. Remember, Ross, if it's not for Maxine, it'll be for you, but I know I want to pass over. George is what I'm being asked to pass over. Right, okay. What other name do you want to get? And I want to pass over the name Robert. So I've got George and Robert for you both, but focusing on Maxine. So I've got George and Robert. What other name do you want to pass over? I also want to give the name Carol for you, Maxine. So I know I want to recognise the name Carol. Right, come through, sir. Right, he's talking to you. He's telling me about it's all worth it at the moment, Maxine, because he's telling me that you're putting in the foundations for the future. So I don't know whether you are looking to expand work, or Carol is my mum, so there's Ross. Yes, Lauren, George, Robert, son. Excellent, thank you. This is where I mean about you two having double mixes. We'll just keep focusing on you though, Maxine. But he is talking to me about the fact that he is proud of you because you're putting the foundations in for the future. Thank you very much. This even means that a work environment, or you're looking to sort of do the house extension or change something, because when you're putting but it's hard. Thank you. And you're having to dig deep. Okay. And he said to me, you're having to sort of try and get everybody on board, or trying to get all your chickens in a row to me, because it feels like there's been a lot of you maneuvering and trying to make everything work in order to get the foundations in place. Gosh, I hope that makes sense. Unless he was a builder, and then that would make complete sense why he's going on about the word foundations, because he is just talking to me. Okay, husband, oh bless you, because it's like trying to move, and I need to move things to get it all in the right place to build the foundations for the future. Right, okay. He is making me struggle to breathe. Now, obviously, I'm conscious I've got Ross's dad as well. So one or both people are making it hard for me to breathe. Thank you. He also wants to talk 10 to a dozen at the moment. So he wants to give me lots of information at the moment. And I'm like, can I take a deep breath, please? So he's talking to me, but they're both of them are jumping in, and both of them are talking really fast. So I'm like trying to separate them. Right, let's make this nice and easy. Right, okay. Maxine, May's important, he tells me. Birthday, password, anniversary. He also, unless it's the name May. He also talks to me about okay, that was poor of him, and my dad had dementia. Okay, thank you. So this is where we got our links and connections with you both. My dad, that was him, he was poor breathing, thank you. So May, as I said, is important. It would either be a birthday, passing, anniversary, if it's not the name. Also, they're talking to me about June. May and June are always difficult because they can well be names. So again, May would be important, and June, if it's not a name, birthday, passing, anniversary. I also want to give the name Joan. There's a June or a Joan bopping around for you at the moment, Maxine. So I want to give you June or Joan. Okay. And somebody absolutely loves tulips. Okay, I'll thank you, Ross. And May's for that part. That's better. I do apologise when the double links connect. It's just that when they all kind of talk to me, I've just got to try and figure out where I'm going. So I'm going to do Ross. If you're Ross's dad, can you just stand over there a little bit more, please? Okay, so Maxine. Right. Come through, sir, and talk to me. For you, Maxine, he talks to me about needing to, or taking time out, and okay, thank you, sir. Taking your time out to, oh, brilliant. Oh my God, my dad's favourite. Thank you. I was trying to get him to bring me back the tulip, because I was sort of saying, because Ross's dad just jumped in a little bit, and I was like, Ross's dad, can you stay over there? And I was like, Maxine's dad, can you come back? Because he's given me these tulips. Now, the tulips imagery he gave me are the ones with the pink and the yellow, or the orange and the yellow. It may not be that colour exactly, but that's what that's slightly two-tone ones. But he's talking to me about you needing to put some. Okay, all right, I'll tell her. You need to put your hands in the earth, Maxine. Because he's talking to me about, obviously it's a bit cold at the moment, but he is telling me that she needs to sort of get the soil under your hands. He said to me, it's about getting yourself out. Now, well, the way he gives it to me is about you, the way I would pick it up is recentering myself. If I'm out in the garden, I'm recentering, a bit like what lovely Alan was saying about healing from our environment, our nature. But he is talking to me about you needing to get your hands back into the soil. So I know it's horrible weather at the moment, and it's not been great. So he almost made me say a naughty word then. Thinking of an allotment, because he's talking to me about getting your hands in there. Right. Okay, thank you, sir. I asked him what's his message for you, and he's just simply said, tell her that she doesn't have to. Okay, you don't have to try and do everything in one day, Maxine. So as we take him back to the beginning of the message, where he was talking to me about you, foundations, getting everything in the right place in order to go to the future, work forwards. He's telling me, and my eyebrow keeps getting look like I'm having a cocked eyebrow. So they keep bringing their energy on top of me. Your dad's very, very strong in his energy. You don't have to do everything in one day. So there is a feeling like you want to try and get as much done in one day, but it's like you don't have to do everything in one day. Pace yourself. So Maxine, it's all about you pacing yourself at the moment. There's and grounding and taking yourself out into the garden and getting your hands in the soil and just letting go a little bit. But he says, just pace yourself. You don't have to do everything in the one day. Do try to do a lot. Exactly. Pace yourself. Because this means she's not going to slow down. He said to me, but if she can pace herself, it would help things. Okay. Okay, thank you, sir. And it's okay. It's okay to have a lazy day. So I think he's trying to just very much as he comes through is to just give you time out for yourself and allow yourself to say it's okay. And I don't know, Maxine, I'm going to give it to you. And if it's not, it will be my next move over to Ross. All of a sudden I've got braces because all of a sudden I'm doing this and I've got braces. So I want to recognize braces. So I don't know whether Dad had braces or whether that would be Ross's dad having braces coming through, but I know I want to recognize this. But for him, he's talking about it's okay about you pacing yourself, a bit of time out. You don't have to try and do everything. He had braces. Okay, I'm glad I gave it because he was just doing that. And I'm like, I want to put some braces here. And I'm like, all of a sudden my thumb was there. So the way he done it was, you put your thumbs there. I've got my thumb. Oh, this is really weird. Sorry, I have to show you how they act. Like it's there on my collarbone. And Maxine, have some time out for yourself. It's okay. And I shall say thank you so much for allowing me to work with you. But as I said, I'm going to move over to Ross because I know I was torn between yourself, Maxine, and Ross. So as I said to Ross, to listen and think that you had Maxine. Maxine, I'll ask you to hold everything or listen to what's going on with Ross because it may well be, like I said, bits will pop in. Right. Ross, I'd love to come and work with you if that's okay. So I don't know whether you can take the braces. I just knew I had definitely had to give the braces with Maxine, but I will ask for to this one. Right, oh, okay, thank you very much. What are you coming through? Right, so Ross, as I come through to you, right, okay. As he's coming through, he says you can, okay, we're going, not the braces, that's fine. Ross, I asked for them to give me something for Maxine so Maxine could take away for her, and I will make sure that I do the same for you, especially when I try to do when I get double links, not try to do double links. My life if it was easy if I didn't. But I do know if I asked them to give me something else here. Right. Ross, I've got a really, really dry mouth with your dad. So I don't know whether he struggled near to when he passed about drinking. Either he had a dry mouth or whether he was always, I know we're all negative of drinking water, but I know I need to recognise a dry mouth. Again, we allow our mediumship to be nice and relaxed to however they want to work. Okay, so because thank you. Because it's just like, my tongue's really, really dry and it's just struggling with my mouth. Okay, thank you very much. So, okay, what else? We don't want things like that. Right, Ross. Well, that's a weird one. Ross, I want to give you, this is something that I really am not too sure what he's talking about. So you're going to get it and hopefully it'll be something that you can take away if it doesn't make sense. Swallows. The birds swallows. Now, I know you said he couldn't swallow, but I want to use the little bird swallows. So I don't know whether Dad either had or somebody's got a bird tattoo, a swallow. Swallow's to do with the Navy, isn't it? And again, because he's given me like a naval feeling as well. Now, I always stay away from the military, from the naval, from the Second World War, purely because the fact is, I like to try and give mediumship in different ways, but I want to recognise the little bird swallow. Now, if that doesn't make sense, the bird part, little swallow, don't worry, just hold on to it because it will be a sign along the way. You will find, Maxine's dad had a bird tattoo. Ah, right, okay. Not naval, but not sure about that. And that's not a problem, Ross, because Maxine's dad had a bird tattoo. So that's where the swallow is. Right, we can forget the swallow part for you, Ross. This is what I mean. I think Maxine's dad's getting one back on your dad for jumping in and giving me some bits and bobs for you, Ross, because these two gentlemen are laughing. They're laughing at each other and they're laughing. It's a bit like, ha, well, you did that. I'm going to do that. Right, okay. I knew it was going to happen. Right, come on, Dad, come and give me some bits and bobs for you. Right, okay. Right, I need to give you the name Jim. Jim is more than anything else than a James, but I want to call Jim. Okay, thank you. And also I want to recognise somebody absolutely loving Fox's straw jammy Dodgers or Fox's straw jam and cream biscuits. They do throw lots of things at me, Ross. So I want to recognise somebody loving a jammy Dodger or a Fox's cream with the strawberry and a jam in it. I know I want a biscuit. Right. Okay, and Maxine says she can take Jim was his name. Right, okay, come on. She's going to get your dad to come a bit closer, Ross. Right, okay. Right, let's tell you about your message you're starting with, sir. Right, Ross, there is something that you either you are thinking about doing, and yes, my daughter loves those biscuits. Excellent, thank you. And we've got the Jim for Maxine. Brilliant. Right. For you, Ross, I'm going to have to ask the question. Ross, are you looking to change your job? Because he keeps placing in front of me a piece of paper and he keeps telling me he needs to put his words down. And the way it looks like is some form of a CV or a job application form or something. Right. Thank you. Because he keeps placing it in front of me. He keeps putting this piece of paper there and he keeps doing that in front of me, in front of my imagery, and keeps putting, he says, it's got to put paper down. It's got to put, you've got to do it, basically, if you're not doing it. Because he kept putting it and he kept giving it to me. Right, okay. And you need to start writing down. Okay, Dad, you're getting it now, Ross. I do apologise. You need to start writing down all your attributes. Okay, because he says to me, it's not the fact that you can write like in your CV form, name, date of birth, and they're laughing at me in spirit. It's the bit where we have to write our personal statement. You know, when we have to write to say why we think we're good at this job. And he's like, first of all, you need to start writing all your attributes. Okay. He says also, you have got a lot of, that's manager speak, but I'll use it. A lot of transferable skills. You can tell I'm working in an office environment because he says to me, you've got what you do now, you can do and go up. So he wants to talk about you going up is what he says. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do, but he says, me start off with the attributes. Tell him what he knows you're good at. It's me and go for it. Because he's like, you can do it. He actually just went, I don't know what he's faffing about. So either you're kind of dilly-dallying or you're not too sure or you're umming and ahhing, because he turned around and said to him, why is he faffing about? Now, that is my words, obviously, when I get faffing. You're doing a degree. Excellent. Okay. Well, the skills you're going to get from this, Ross, means that you will be able to improve. But what you're faffing about, basically. Now, that's my wording. He may well have used, that would be his terminology, but he just said to me, what's he faffing about? I'm glad I asked you, because that's all he kept putting in front of me was a piece of paper and telling him he needs to write all his attributes. Thank you, sir. Right. And that's why I was struggling to make that link, because he was he kept throwing it in front of me, in front of my eyes. Right. Okay, Dave, we've done that bit. Right. What else? Okay. He misses a cup of tea, apparently, Ross. So he misses tea. So I'm going with the fact that Dad must have loved a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, because he's telling me he misses a cup of tea. Okay, so he wants to recognise he's missing tea up in spirit. And somebody, he loved to see he's missing it. You wouldn't think that you'd miss tea. I think I would do. He's missing his tea, and I don't know whether this is directly the cake, but he keeps giving me carrot cake. So I don't know who loves carrot cake or like the buttercream, because he's just talking to me. Okay, Maxine's dad was, so they're both missing tea up in there as well. But I know I want to give carrot cake as well. He's just laughing at me. Okay, so, and he says, oh, it's both of you then. He loved cake. Okay. Both of them, and I know we've sort of said like Maxine's been able to take bits and bobs as well, but they've both come together. I'm like, okay. And they both want both of you to know. And I know obviously Maxine had her message, but Maxine's dad said, please, it is for Maxine as well. They didn't, and it's both of them. they didn't get to smile as much when they passed, but they are both now able to smile and enjoy life in spirit. Because both of them, and Ross, for you definitely, because it is obviously making connection to you, Ross, your lovely dad is just talking about them last 6 to 8 months, there wasn't much of a smile anymore. He said, but when I got to the spirit world, he went, I found my smile. Oh, bless him, he's making both of them making me really emotional, because he said to me, I found my smile. But he said the last 6 to 8 months, he said there wasn't much of a smile. He said, but I found my smile. And for Maxine, there is that same feeling as well, that Dad didn't get to smile as much, because they're both saying, we're smiling now. Okay, I'm going to ask your lovely dad just to step back for 2 seconds, because I haven't cried on a lot online for a while. So, okay. Like I said, I allow your lovely loved ones to just use my energy however they want, works for them. Okay. Okay, thank you, sir. And for you, Ross, he just wants to say, and I know it's not an evidential in the sense of what he just says to me, tell him I'm so proud of Ross, of him. That's where he uses I won't say they're swearers, but I want to use like, there's a terminology for you, Ross, shall we say? And he says to me, because I'm so proud of the what's it. He says to me, because he's achieving so much more than he ever thought he was able to, and he is so proud of you because you're reaching your potential. But you need to get yourself looking for a new job, my lovely. You need to get your attributes down. He said to me, because that's his next chapter and his next phase in life. And I really hope you can take away and enjoy both your messages. But there was so much love there for both of you. I hope both of you, I know, thank you so much for your understanding that we kind of bounce between the two. And I do say thank you so much for allowing me to connect with both of your lovely dads. All right, okay, we've got a little bit of time just to do another one, I'm sure. So, right, okay, so very quickly, if you would like a connection, you're very welcome, Ross. If you'd like a connection with a past loved one, by all means, you're welcome to drop down who you'd like to speak to, or if you would like just sort of let me go. Right, I've got another gentleman. Right, okay, I'm going to, right, okay, I keep going, okay. Oh, brilliant. Thank you. I love it. I'll just get the, yes, you can. Right. Okay. I need to recognize a gentleman as he comes through. I'm going to say, Carmia. I hope I've said your name right. Carmia Nunn. I hope that's okay. I hope I've said your name right. I worry more about saying your names wrong than I do connecting with spirit. But your lovely brother's popping in. Thank you. And your lovely brother's popping in. And he's a pop in. He's like, all right. Okay, and he's coming, and as he's coming in, he's plonking himself down. So I want to sort of say that he is making himself really comfortable. Yes, I can't. Brilliant, thank you. I just worry that I'm going to say your name wrong. And he's coming in, and he's plonked himself down, and he's like, hiya, hello, like he's really like, hi. Okay, I need to recognize leg trouble now, whether that's leg trouble with yourself or whether that would be leg trouble with him. But I know I want to recognize, he's talking to me about leg troubles unless he put his legs up, because as he's coming out, he's made me stretch my legs out, my feet are crossed over, and I want to put out my legs. Okay, I've got to give you the name Steve for you. These may well be related to him or friends in spirit, but I know I want to recognize the name Steve. Okay, thank you very much. What else are you going to come and give me? Right. I need to also give you the name Rob. Rob, we've used that name today, but I know he wants to pass over Rob to me as well. Oh, and I've got an Anthony as well for you, Carmia. So I've got a Rob, and I've got a Steve, Rob, and Anthony. Okay, thank you very much. He tells me that August is important. Birthday, passing, and anniversary. And he gives me a laugh. So this is going to be important to him. even if it's not important to you. So why does he give me? It gives me a feeling that August would be. Yes, August is important. All right, I'm going to give it to you because he makes me feel like August is his birthday, because it's like he's chuckling. Like August is really important to him because he's just laughing, telling me that August is important. Right, okay, right. Right, what else are you coming through? You come and tell me August is important. Right, oh, okay. Cammy, I don't know if you can take about him not eating green food, green vegetables, because all of a sudden, I don't know whether somebody grew marrows or whether somebody grew somebody likes cucumbers. All I keep seeing, and like I said with what happened with lovely Ross's dad, and he kept flashing it in front of me, I keep seeing a green vegetable, and it's like a marrow or a cucumber or as okay, but it's either he didn't like greens or somebody grew green vegetables. But we're like I said, we're even on a cucumber, the marrows, or the courgette. So I don't know what that makes sense. I'm passing it over to you because he keeps throwing it at me. So if I'm getting to get it, I'm going to pass that over to you, okay? Because he's just talking to me about it and he keeps flashing it. So there must be some importance to it, right? Okay, come through. So what else you want to talk to me? Right. Right, okay. He wants to tell you that he's been around you a lot. But there is a bit of a mischief with your brother because as he's coming through, it's like I want to move the cup. That if you've noticed that a cup has been slightly moved or a picture frame's been moved, something that's been placed that you would normally expect would be stationary has moved slightly because he's laughing to say he'd done that. So he has been around you a lot. Okay. He's also talking to me about you've been sorting out a lot of things at the moment for family members, whether that's a mum, dad, or just partner or a friend or family. He's talking to me, you've been doing a lot of sorting things out because he says to me, she's been sorting things out. Donk, 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 donk. Okay. And he has given you a nudge. So I don't, and okay, thank you. He's telling me I gave her a nudge. So there was something in between this sorting paperwork out or sorting something out. And you kind of felt that little bit of a intuition, like, oh, that's not too sure. It's me because I gave her a nudge. So he's trying to tell me for you that he is trying to help you sort these paperwork or documentation around somebody you're helping. But he says to me, that feeling you had when you're like, oh, maybe this isn't right, he's joking to say that I was there to give you the nudge. So he's been giving you a nudge. So any times we feel a little bit like, oh, know that it is him coming through. Right, okay. And this is me, I have been the Robin recently. This is me because he said to me, I've been bopping around the garden a lot, bopping around, bom, 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 bom. So there's been a Robin bopping around. This is me, I've been bom, bom, bop, 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 bopping around. Okay. Okay, can we give me anything else? Right, I need to give you the name Molly or Polly. I don't know where that name comes. I know where the name comes from because it comes from spirit. But okay, Carmi, I'm going to give you the name Polly or Molly. If it doesn't make sense, don't worry about it because it was an unusual thing to pass over to me. But it's Polly or Molly. So I don't know if there's somebody in spirit with a name like that, but I'll pass that over to you. Right. Okay. Anything else for Carmi? I need to give you the name George as well. He's throwing a name in. So I want to give you the name as well, George. But as he's coming through, he's just to let you know that them little bits that have been spooky in our house, as we call them, the spooky things that happen in our house, the little feelings of your intuition, them little nudges and pulls in your intuition, and the things being moved around, it's just to let you know that he has been with you, he's been working you, he's been helping you, nudging you, as he called it, and just giving you that little bit of help. Right, you want to give her a flower. Okay, what flower do you want to give her then? Okay, I need to give you magnolias and peonies. So the two flowers, magnolia and peonies, unless you've got the colour magnolia, but I know I want to give you peonies. I think that's a Peonies flowers. So I know he wants me to pass them flowers over to you. That may not necessarily be a flower that you like, but it may be somebody in spirit that likes flowers. I just keep being told, here's these flowers. I need to tell her about these flowers. Your brother's very much like that. It's like That's the information. Tell her. You need to do that. Tell her. So it's not that he's bossy. He's just very much, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. So he comes across as quite a pragmatic gentleman. So I know I want to pass over them flowers to you. If they don't make sense at the moment, then all I simply ask you to do is hold them. But it is just to let you know that he is with you, gently nudging you along and trying to help you where he can from the spirit world. And with that, I shall say thank you so much for allowing me to work with you, bring your lovely brother through. I hope the messages and the flowers make sense to you, and just say have a lovely evening, and thank you very much. Right, okay, so we're just coming to the end. Thank you, Rob.
Perfect. Oh, Claire, thank you so much for those lovely
Thank
messages.
you. You're welcome.
As you know, we've got Frank's cards for the week coming up. Then we'll come back for closing prayer after that, if that's all right.
Yeah, brilliant.
Super. Lovely evening. Okay, friends. Well, as our regulars will know, Frank from our church draws a card, an animal card each week. Actually draws 3, each marked by a crystal. That's because obviously our mediums can't get round to everyone in the evening for a personal message, but hopefully you can take something from one of these. So let's see what Frank has got for us this week. In fact, let me just find the video, Frank, which is not where it should be. Here we go. Right, away we go.
Good evening. Our first crystal this evening is the rose quartz. And with that goes the card for the dove. The dove brings a sense of hope, of peace and innocence. Dove is all about the beginning of new emotional experience, be that romantic or platonic. Even the rebirth or birth of an idea or a venture. It is also a signal of the awakening of spiritual gifts and insight, and many other new things in our life. The dove is the universal sign of peace and love, and it is closely related to that. The symbolism of love and romance is so closely connected with the dove, and we see the dove on our card here with her wings spread. She's almost begging you to come to her for a hug. What more could you want? It was also, in spiritual terms, the dove that brought the olive branch to Noah on the ark, signaling that there was land re-emerging. And when we look at this card, we see water gently trickling over the edge into a pool of calm and peace below. Very much symbolic of life, things around us gently changing and bringing about calm where there has been turbulence in our lives. We see the new fruit ripening on the trees, all a sign of new beginnings. And again on this card we see the butterfly, which we now know is always a symbol of transformation, a symbol of times moving on and new ventures and new times ahead. I feel that's a good card, that, and I hope you've liked it. Our second crystal is the amethyst, and with that goes the card for the dragonfly. This card is all about change and understanding one's emotions and controlling one's thoughts and seeing the magic of life. In life, changes will happen, while how you deal with those situations is vitally important. The way in which you think about them might be even more so important. If you perceive things as negative and harmful, if you perceive them like that, they will likely make you even more unhappy than you already were, and depression may set in. And it can be more difficult to bounce back from that situation. However, if you can remember that heaven loves you and always has only the highest intention for you, then it's a lot easier to recover from these situations and move forward and try to focus on positive solutions. The dragonfly is a very special insect. They live their lives partly in water and partly in the air, symbolising a brilliant mix of emotion and intellect. Their flying ability is unique. They can not only move forward and backwards, but they can also hover rather like a helicopter, because unlike other insects, their wings can move independent of each other. You can be like the dragonfly. You can choose to remain in a holding position and stay where you are, or you can move in reverse and backtrack on things. Or if you like, you can make a very life-changing choice and move forward. Dragonflies ask that you believe in the magic of life, rather than focusing upon the bumps in the road along the path. Dragonfly has been around on Earth for a very long time, over 150 million years, and it was here before the dinosaurs. It has evolved very little in that time, apart from getting perhaps somewhat smaller. And that tells us that we should not change things for the sake of change. But if there are things that need fixing, things that need dealing with, then we should grasp hold of them and make those changes that are necessary. And our third crystal is the citrine. With that goes the card for the magpie. This card tells you that a situation maybe is not what it appears to be. It warns you of the need to look for a better solution to a problem, or the loss of something valuable. Things aren't always as they appear. So because of that, even the best laid plans can sometimes fail to succeed. Time will bring clarity in most situations, but the magpie can give you a head up right now that your plans require another look at. Think of the time you will save and the energy if you do it now. Magpies also indicate that your current situation might cost you something important. That could be something material, a possession, something valuable, or maybe something less material, like peace of mind. The key to avoiding such loss is to be alert and be aware of the result of your actions, and also be aware of what others may be doing behind your back. Magpies are beautiful and fascinating birds. They're also rather unpredictable. Therefore, their symbolism can vary. Some will see them as a symbol of good fortune, and we would argue that this card we have tonight brings a message that is positive rather than negative, and says its purpose is to help you get on the right track and be successful. Because magpies are scavengers who like shiny objects, they're also known for taking small items that sparkle into their nests. The whistle in our nest here is the magpie's symbol from heaven, alerting you to take a look at your current plans. Are you being distracted by something? And it's time for you to focus much more closely. But when we look at the magpie on our card, we see in his beak he holds a key. This tells us that we hold the key to our future. Nobody else, just us. And it asks that we take hold of the key, unlock our future, and go forward and reap success from our ventures. 3 very good cards there tonight. I particularly love the magpie. I think the symbolism is so important. Thank you for listening to me.
Lovely. Well, thank you, Frank. Okay, let's go back to Claire to wrap up the service. We'll have the closing prayer, and then we'll play out the closing Vesper. There we go. Claire.
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much. So just get ourselves comfortable. So just get yourself all comfortable, and I'll ask you to go into the quiet. I do close my own eyes. However that suits you, bow your head, or it's just a bit of meditation. And we take a deep breath and we say, thank you to the Lord and Divine Spirit for helping to bridge the connection between the... Start again. Take a deep breath. Dear Lord and Divine Spirit, we send our thanks and appreciation to you for helping to bridge the connection between the connection of the spirit world and our own. That's because there's still lots of lovely family members around us. I'll ask you all to continue to open up your hearts into the spirit world, asking our lovely past loved ones to continue to be around us for their love and their appreciation, and for our thanks to them for bringing us messages of comfort, love and upliftment, but also to help us gain our knowledge that there is life after life. I'll ask you all, as we come to the end, to create a loving, healing bubble, to send this out to yourself, friends and family, out into the universe, to send it out to those who are in need, to the animal kingdom, and for people who at the moment may feel like no one is around thinking of them, for them to know that there are people there sending out loving thoughts can mean the world to them. I hope you've all enjoyed this evening, even if my little prayer's been a bit winky wonky. I shall say have a smashing evening, a wonderful week ahead, and I look forward to seeing you all very soon. Take care and amen. Thank you. Sorry for being a bit wibbly wobbly. Hey.
Well, I'd like to say a big thank you to Claire for tonight's service and all those wonderful messages and that wibbly wobbly closing prayer. That's certainly a new one to me, but it all counts. So thank you, Claire, so much. Thank you to our medium in church, Alan Alberston, who you would have seen earlier, opening up for us in prayer. But Adam was doing the things in church, so thank you. Thank you to Donna for chairing in church. Thank you to Peter for the Bible reading, and thank you to Frank for your cards, as you do every week, and you give a lot of time to do that. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for watching and joining us tonight. I really hope you can join us next week at 6:30 again. And until then, I think we're all ready for the week ahead now. So have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Good night.